Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video with Brooklyn. How are you all doing today? I'm telling you, it's April, it's freezing. I got a sweater on. It is cold outside. It's crazy how the weather has changed. Now, when it was March, it was all warm. You know, they say March comes in like a lion and go out like a lamb. Well, March switched it up on us. March came in like a lamb and it's going out like a lion. Because I'm telling you what, April, it's cold. It was freezing yesterday. It felt just like a March day yesterday here in North Carolina, in my part of North Carolina. It was really cold. And anybody that knows me know I cannot stand being too cold and I cannot stand being too hot. Give me somewhere like 75, 77-ish, and I'm cool with it, and some sunshine. Other than that, too hot, too cold, I'm just a miserable, ill, aggravated person. My personality changes with the weather. That's a true saying. You change like the weather. That's how I am. I've been told that you change like the weather. You know, get hot, you get moody, you get cold, you get cranky. But anyway, so I want to come on here. We all heard about what is his name? Derek Chauvin. I can't pronounce his last name. Some people pronouncing it Chauvin. Some people saying Chauvin or Chauvin. Anyway, DC. That's his name right now for this video, DC. So they're supposed to be starting his sentencing in some weeks coming ahead, right? When he was in the courtroom, I saw the video when they handed down the verdict. DC looked so dumbfounded and confused. I think he actually thought that he was going to get off. His eyes, he had a mask on so you couldn't see his whole facial expression, but you can read people's eyes. Your eyes are the window to your inner being, okay? And you can tell the way someone feels and how they're really thinking sometimes just by looking into their eyes. This man's eyes looked confused. He looked bewildered. I'm not going to even say he looked scared. You can see a little bit of nervousness around, but for the most part, he actually looked like he was stunned. He looked as though he was just, I can't believe these fools are going to send me to prison. You know, I've lost my entitlement. What happened? You know, aren't I supposed to be able to kill and get away with it? Whether it was done intentionally or whether it was done accidentally, you know. And when I say accidentally, I mean not getting up premeditating, but you know, it happened and you didn't stop yourself. You went on and did it to showboat, you know, and show who you are. That's what I mean accidentally. I don't mean you trip and fell and the gun went off and it was truly an accident, or you accidentally pushed somebody and they hit their head. You know, and people that do things like that, they still get indicted. And it was an accident. They still get indicted. They find a way to send them people to prison, you know? But he was just like floored. You could see it in his eyes. And it's a sad thing because he did not anticipate going to prison, getting up in the morning, going out, killing someone, you know, and winding up having to go spend the rest of his life in prison. Now, when I read my article on yesterday, I read that he could get 75 years, you know, with all the charges and each charge that they brought him, you know, that he can go to prison for 75 years. But yesterday evening, looking at the news, they were saying he can get up to 40 years. You know, they were talking about the trial and what happened. The news lady said that he can get up to 40 years. So I don't know exactly what is going on, you know, and what they're going to pull and what they're not going to pull, what they're going to put in, what they're going to pull out, you know, but I just pray that, you know, he gets exactly what he is supposed to get, and they should not be lenient. And the reason why I say they should not be lenient is because when you kill someone, okay, they brought a charge against him of unintentional manslaughter, okay? Again, when he woke up that morning, I do not think he had any intentions of going out killing anyone. I don't think he did, you know, unless he's a psychopath. Some people get up in the morning with intentions of killing. I don't think he got up that morning with intentions of killing. I think the circumstances, it just happened. but he intentionally did not stop. He intentionally continued to assault and showboat and throw his power of being on the police force around. He intentionally had those actions and those behaviors which led to George Floyd's death. So he may not have intentionally wanted to get up and want to kill somebody, but he intentionally committed the act. He did it on purpose. He didn't intentionally get up to do it. That's what they're saying. He didn't intentionally, I'm thinking they meaning intentionally get up with that premeditation thought. Okay? But his actions showed that he intentionally did it. You know, you can get up and you can be like, I'm going to school today, I'm having no problems. You know, you don't intentionally get up to go to school to slap somebody in the face and get suspended, but it depends on what circumstances that you are going to go through that day that leads you to intentionally go slap somebody. You know? And I just hope that he gets the true sentence that he's supposed to get. That's what I'm saying. And if it's 75 years, then he needs to get, DC needs to get 75 years. Plain and simple. He needs to get 75 years because he took another person's life. And that is a life sentence. Even though they're not saying life, that's a life sentence and that's a death sentence. Because if he's in his 40s and he gets 75 years, if he's 40, he gets 75 years, that's 105. He's going to be 105. Somewhere in there. He's going to be like 105 years old when he get out. Most people do not live to be 105. Most people don't, you know. So that's a life sentence and it's a death sentence within itself, you know. And I just hope he gets the true sentencing that he is supposed to get. And surely he cannot come back. I'm sure he's going to appeal without a shadow of a doubt because he does not exhibit any remorse, not to me. Now, what he feels on the inside, I can't say. But he does not seem to exhibit any remorse. And most people that are trying to get to come back and fight it again, you know, have an appeal, a lot of times they don't have remorse. They don't feel like they should be punished as long as they should be punished. You know, I'm getting 40 years. I want to bump it down to 10. You know, I want to get out. I got a life to live. I know I took somebody else's life, but I got a life to live and I want to live it. Now, does he have any remorse? I don't know. Only him and God knows that. You know, now I have not yet to hear anyone say that this young man has even apologized to the family and said any sorries. I don't know. I haven't heard it, you know, but most people that have remorse, they are sitting in the courtroom crying. They are pleading forgiveness and they welcome their punishment. Most people who have a conscience and who feel guilty about their actions and it was truly an accident. That's why I'm saying his actions were intentional. You know, his actions were intentional. If you are in a situation where there's road rage, someone hits your car. When you woke up that morning, you did not have any intentions of getting out the car. Someone hits you, getting out the car and shooting the person. Circumstances lead to that. So it was not premeditated that you got into a road rage incident, but your actions were intentional when you pulled out your gun out your glove box and you shot the person who hit you because y'all had an altercation. You know, so even though it was not intentional is what they're saying, but his actions were intentional. He deliberately kept his knee on someone's neck and inflicted death. Inflicted death, even after the man kept saying that he couldn't breathe, you know. And it's just a sad case all the way around. This man's wife has divorced him. You know, he's lost everything. Now, from my understanding, I'm believing that he gets to keep his pension. I'm not sure about that. I think that he'll probably use his pension to pay for lawyers for the rest of his life, you know, unless he lets his wife have it, you know, live off of it, his ex-wife. He would probably use that and lose it all because lawyers will take your money knowing that you're not going to win. And I also noticed this too. His lawyer just sat there, did not respond to the to the guilty verdicts or anything. He just sat there like looking straight ahead. You know, I didn't see him like, you know, try to console him or anything. You know, most lawyers be like, you know, don't worry about it. They say something. As the verdict was read, the lawyer just sat there like he really wasn't surprised. It was just it was just like, and when you're in situations like this, you really don't know who's on your side, you know, because just because you have a lawyer does not mean that he's on your side. Does not mean that he supports you. This is his job. I mean, it's obvious. You can see from police officers. Just because they're a police officer does not mean that they're on your side. Obviously. And just because you have a lawyer does not mean that this lawyer is on your side. It just doesn't. You know, and it's just a sad situation all the way around, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and rejoice in his demise, you know, but at the same time, I'm glad that justice was served, you know, because it could be any one of us at any given time that could either have someone could have their knee on our neck, or we could be in the situation of DC and be going to prison for the rest of our lives because we got up that morning and that day just went all wrong, you know. So with that being said, I'm going to say vielen Dank. That's thank you very much in German. So vielen Dank for watching me, and choose, that's what? That's bye in German.